The College Basketball Experience Preview and Picks episode for Tuesday, December 6th on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET is what you need to win. Sign up today. Bet $100. Get $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Yes. Welcome to the College Basketball Experience Preview and Picks. Oh, yeah. For Tuesday, December 6th. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Oh, if you're tuning in, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe over on YouTube, youtube.com/The College Experience. We got a little Hollywood Squares edition going here. Yes, first time we got a four-way here. Look, we got four. Look, this is
Don't call it that.
Yeah, this is like looking at a Iowa basketball game. Just four white guys with brown hair. All right,
not very athletic.
Yeah, not very athletic.
Is there a ball we can pass around to each other throughout this thing?
If you're wondering who the hell that is, I am joined by my co-host. I have several co-hosts here. I'm going to start off. I'm going to go old school. This guy, former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh. Well,
first episode of the 22-23 season with all four of us. That's something to celebrate, folks.
Yeah, buddy. Dialed in.
And we also have the DFS god himself. He plays college basketball DFS each and every day. We invite you to come play it. Give us a follow at TCE on SGPN. We tweet it out daily. Give it up for the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco road living, the free lock giving, former Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. What's up, guys?
When we were winning conference titles and going to the Final Four, we were making a statement.
That's what you get. You get a little Nolte.
We're officially turning the page to straight up college basketball. I love it.
Yes, and the newest recruit. I like to think he's a 5-star recruit by us, all right? Like, I mean, come on, give it up for former video coordinator for Frank Martin and Bob Huggins, host of the NFL Gambling Podcast, host of the Ryan and Rush Show. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre, a.k.a. Moneyline Mac. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man, and I know it's college basketball season because we got the quad box going now.
Oh, the quad box. I feel like I'm away from the studio. I feel like it's God's eye within God's eye. You get Patty C's awesome, light show that he's doing here.
Sex club. The sex dungeon, yeah. It's my blue room, not my red room.
Oh man, this is great. You guys ready? I mean, look, it's college basketball. I know we got to do a college football episode. So if you're a college football fan tuning in, I am very aware that over 1,000 players entered the transfer portal today. So that and there's coaching news. I mean, I picked the wrong week to get out and go surprise my mother for her birthday and hit a UNC Wilmington game because every time I pick up the phone in college football, it's something pretty substantial is happening in the sport. There's more shit happening with no games than there was with games. But this is a college basketball episode. We're gonna talk about the games for tomorrow because it's a loaded slate. And how about before we talk the games tomorrow? How about a little what do you make of the season so far? I mean, I know Patty sees Wahoos.
Coming up strong here.
I think they look like the best team in the country, if you ask me. If I had to fill out a little, if they asked me, since I have such great knowledge, if they said, "Hey, Colby, but you know more than this voter, you should vote for the top 25," I think I might have Virginia at number 1.
Bold statement. That game against Florida State makes me think twice about that.
Well, let's not pretend like Florida State doesn't have talent, though. I mean, come on. What's your biggest takeaway, NC Nick, from the beginning of the season so far?
Yeah, so on one hand, I think a huge takeaway is some of the top teams that were supposed to be really good and they're struggling, like UNC, like Gonzaga. And on the flip side of that is some of those teams that are still undefeated that maybe weren't supposed to be that good, like Auburn or UVA or Purdue,
East Carolina.
No, they're not undefeated. They lost to South Carolina State.
But I mean, I'm just saying we're ahead of schedule. We're ahead of schedule.
Nice bounce back win over Campbell the other day, but the fact that you guys lost to South Carolina State was surprising.
Well, it's an off night.
Yeah, but dude, I think the first we're about almost a month in. Is that right? Or about 3 weeks?
Yeah.
I think it's been a fantastic start to the college basketball season. We've had great games every day, and it's only going to pick up steam as the season progresses. So I'm super pumped to finish out December and see what 2023 has in store for us.
Yeah. I mean, look, I feel like we got it. Last night's slate wasn't great. I know me and Ryan were picking games. We're doing all these daily shows. And even right now, the games, there's still a lot of games. Like the best game of the night is Kent State Gonzaga. That game hasn't started yet, so we're not going to key on it. Game ball wise, we can't really do much. I know we've been doing that as a theme, but I think tonight it will not be happening unless you want to just give it to UMass Lowell and Green Bay, the Phoenix, because I did win a lock battle against you, Moneyline Mac. It's 2-3 now. Or 3-2.
Jags.
Yeah. The sweat was intense. I'm so glad I was on a plane and couldn't catch it.
Yeah, no, fantastic game. Every half point mattered in that matchup. So, looking forward to previewing this upcoming slate. Much better than what tonight's slate was.
Yeah. And I do want to shout out Tony Kornheiser. I got several. Shout out to CJ Sullivan, another host of the NFL Gambling Podcast. Check out his show. But Tony Kornheiser talking, I know this is a football related thing, but he's talking TCU, calling them a mid-major. He had no idea they're in the Big 12.
It's only been like 10 years.
Yeah. I think over 10 years. Yeah. Shit. I mean, just crazy.
He probably thinks West Virginia's still in the Big East too.
Guy gets like $5 million a year, and he's sitting there, thinking TCU is still in the Conference USA. He doesn't even realize they went to the Mountain West and then the Big 12. All right, let's hop into today's games because this is going to be a lot of fun. I just need some music here. What should I pull up? Let's go. You know what? This is perfect for the quad box essentially.
Friends through eternity, loyalty, honesty will stay together through thick or thin.
Damn.
Blasting that.
God bless the 80s. All right, we're starting things off with a bang because we have the good old South Dakota Coyotes. There is a daytime game. We just don't we won't have a line on it because it's Middle Georgia State taking on Mercer. So it's like a mixture of Middle Tennessee State. I like this. You got Middle Georgia State. Maybe they can come up in the future here. NC Nick will probably have that on while he's working because that'll probably be on ESPN Plus.
The in-state battle, man. Why not?
Yeah, little in-state border battle. South Dakota heads to Colorado Springs. That is the first game on the slate here. And I am seeing Air Force is laying 4 in Colorado Springs. You look at both of these teams. South Dakota coming off a gigantic win in Provo against Mark Pope and BYU. Meanwhile, Air Force 5-4 as well, same record. Close loss to Portland State, where we covered. I see this line at Air Force -4, and I'm going to start things off with a bang because I think the wrong team's favored. I am locking up the South Dakota Coyotes in Colorado Springs. NC Nick, what do you think about that one?
First off, if I could correct you, that win over BYU was technically in Salt Lake City at a neutral site, even though obviously Provo is right down the road. And yeah, their guy from New Zealand, Cruz Perot Hunt, put up 26 in that game. South Dakota beat a pretty solid Lipscomb team earlier in the year as well. But I don't know, man. I think I'm going to go with the home team here. I think I'm going to lay the points. So, I mean, with Air Force, you never want to lay too many points, but I'm going to disagree with you here. I think Air Force bounces back from that road loss at Portland State, and they win a close one.
You know who's 48th in the nation in three-point shooting? South Dakota. You know who's 46th in free throw shooting? South Dakota. You know what Air Force is? Surprisingly, 291st in free throw shooting.
That should not happen. You figure a team like Air Force would, the one thing they could do is shoot free throws.
Why do you think that?
Well, they're pilots. Normally pilots can shoot. You know what I mean?
Right.
They can shoot. I watched Top Gun too. I know that was the Navy, but I feel like they were really in the Air Force.
But look at Air Force. I mean, they have decent wins over Delaware, over Montana. They lost a close one at Bowling Green. I think they're a much better team at home. Certainly don't love the play here. It's not like I'm going to do a lock battle with you, but I'm going to ride the home team here.
Moneyline Mac, talk some sense into him.
You know, I'm going to ride with NC Nick here. I'm going to take the Falcons at home.
Go.
No lock here. No lock. I do like the South Dakota team, but this is a tough spot coming off the big win. Got to go to Air Force. Tough to play in Colorado Springs.
Highway through the danger zone, my friends, because let me tell you, South Dakota's already used to the elevation. They were in Salt Lake City. It's not a big deal for them. All right? Not a problem. I'm telling you, you're on the wrong side. Next up, we got Oakland. Not Oakland, California, the home of Digital Underground.
Well, hold on. What side's Patty C taking?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, shit. I thought he took that. I thought he.
Colby's not used to four guys.
Yeah.
Colby's very used to the Devil's three-way. Yeah.
Three, but usually he draws a line after the third guy walks in.
I mean, you think about it, a 4-game win streak coming into that Portland State loss, a close Portland State loss on the road. Here they have a chance at home to recover. I'm taking Air Force as well.
Damn,
triple option, baby.
On that island.
Wow. A lock island. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. This is fun. And you guys got any courage to lock it up? Or you're going to sit there like cowards? Because I'm locking up the Coyotes.
No,
I'm passing on that, man.
A little quiet this on
know
this podcast,
something in the chat says, what is a lock based on your guys' breakdown? A lock is basically a game that we bet. If I can speak for everybody, is that a fair thing? Like a game we feel strongly about, where we'll actually play some of our hard-earned cash on it.
Yeah, normally you'll hear this because I'm locking it up, or in other cases some other music. But let's hop to the next one. Oakland, who I came into the season with high hopes for Oakland. Like I said, not Oakland, California. Oakland, Michigan. They're heading to Syracuse. I did have Syracuse on the money line the other night in South Bend at Notre Dame. Meanwhile, though, Oakland 2-8. I would have put some serious money on that not being the case had you asked me, say, November 1st. But the Golden Grizzlies, I don't know what the hell the problem is, as they can't play defense. I think that's the real problem. They're a terrible defensive team, but Syracuse laying 16. That's just too many points. I don't care that Oakland's been terrible. 16. I can't lay they could be playing Chicago State. I wouldn't lay 16 with Syracuse here. I'm gonna take the 16 with the Golden Grizzlies. Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna take the Grizzlies with you too. I'm not laying 16.5 with the Syracuse team right now. This isn't March yet.
Yeah, Patty C, what are you doing? You going Grizz? You going with your Qs? You going Chalk City?
I know. I think I'm going Grizzlies here because even though they're on a 5-game losing streak here, Syracuse's losses or wins have been close, especially recently. two of their last, basically their last 2 wins by 3 and 1 point respectively. Meanwhile, getting slapped around by Illinois by 29.
Yeah.
So tough to think that this team's capable of covering 16 right now.
Well, and you look at Syracuse's offensive rating, 246, which is terrible, but they might have some success because Oakland's defensive rating, 348th. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I think I agree with you guys. I mean, to your point earlier, a lot of people were expecting a lot more from this Oakland squad with Trey Townsend and Jalen Moore returning. And they also, in the transfer portal, got Rocket Watts, who, if you remember, started his career at Michigan State, then went to Mississippi State. So the dude is talent. I mean, the roster has talent, but they started the season 0-8 ATS. They finally got their first cover this past weekend in overtime in that loss to IPFW. Let's make it 2 covers in a row here. Give me the points.
Oh, I like it. Okay, this is actually a really good game going on at Hinkle Fieldhouse on Fox Sports 1, folks. Potential one of the best games of the day here. The Butler Bulldogs are laying 5.5. Oh no, actually 6.5. I'm seeing right now. It opened up at 5.5 against Yale. Yale's 8-1. You look at what they've done; they've been pretty impressive. I mean, a close win against Stony Brook recently, but close loss at Colorado. They whooped Vermont's ass. They whooped Eastern Washington's ass. Now they head to Hinkle, and I'm just doing a quick check on the injury situation with Butler. I'm seeing Jalen Thomas this could be the first game he plays of the season. Jalen Thomas and Ali game time decisions. So we might actually get. I think Thomas might have played a game, but I don't think Ali has. This could be big for Butler. I'm going to lay the 6.5. Dad Mata, I think Butler's going to be a surprise team. I mean, they've already kind of surprised, I guess, but coming into the year, I was really high on them. I think they have a shot, especially you look at Villanova's struggles. I think they have a shot to really be in the mix in the Big East. I know UConn looks really good right now, but with Creighton's early season struggles right now, I think Butler, Xavier might be able to hop up in that mix, especially this Bulldog team. I'm laying the points. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I think I agree with you. Before I saw the line, I was hoping this would be about a 10-point spread, and I was going to jump all over Yale. Yale is a top 10 ATS team in the country. Their only loss is by 3 at Colorado, and this is a team that lost their 2 leading scorers last year. So very surprising they've been able to play as well as they have. But at only 6.5, I think you got to ride Butler. I think Yale's hot streak might come to an end here. Give me the home team again.
Yeah. Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
I am locking up Butler minus 6.5. That's my first lock of the night. I love them at Hinkle.
Yeah, so Moneyline Mac saying this is Hinkle Fieldhouse. Nobody walks in to Hinkle and covers 6.5 points. Patty C, what are you doing here?
Well, Yale's got Matt Noling, who is 4th in the nation in PER. Meanwhile, Butler has Manny Bates, who is tied for 8th in the nation in blocks per game. Again, we have the immovable object versus the irresistible force. I just think Yale on a hot streak. I mean, I guess they took an L against Colorado, close loss. But other than that, like you said, 8-1. They're 1 loss, 3 points. I feel like, maybe even a case of the wrong team favorite. I know it's at Hinkle, so I guess you probably can't say that. But Yale getting slept on a little bit.
Ooh, right.
Johnny Football in the chat says Yale 6.5. Lock it up. Looks like we got a lock battle between him and Ryan over there.
Wow. I mean,
let's go.
Let me cue some music there. Lock battle. Johnny
speaking of lock battles, real quick, Patty C, do you remember our lock battle in last week's college football podcast?
Light me up. I don't remember it, but tell me what
I took Clemson laying the points. You took UNC getting the points. You don't have to do the shots on tonight's podcast, but our next college football one, you got 3 coming your way, man.
How about a shotgun 3 tall boys? Yeah, right. Be dead.
Yeah, I mean, North Carolina Classic, they're the worst. They're the fucking worst. And I guess that goes for basketball too right now. But
it's funny.
What's that?
We talked about what might be the fruitiest game we can think of in college football from a uniform and program standpoint. And North Carolina, Oregon definitely was, one of the matchups we came up with. And lo and behold, they're going to be playing. It's the Jordan versus Nike game. Can you gag me and make me puke anymore? Terrible.
I don't even know how to respond to can you gag me?
There's a joke in there somewhere.
There's a joke. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Game of the night, perhaps. Going on next. Illinois. Traveling down to Austin, Texas. No. This is in Madison Square Garden. Jimmy V Classic. Texas laying 4. This game is fantastic. Texas currently the number 2 team in the nation. The Illini are at 6-2. Coming off a loss, though, in College Park. This is I think one of the more interesting matchups of the day here. And if you even dive into the stats, they kind of do a lot of the same stuff. They're both terrible from the free throw line. But at the same time, from an offensive rebounding point of view, both chart in the top 70. From a rebounding stand in general, just defensive rebounding as well. Top 45. Both of them, just really good teams. Like they this is kind of I feel like a little triple option on triple option. Like when we get an Army Navy game, which we'll be previewing later. I'm going to lay the points with the Longhorns. Moneyline Mac, you are a Big 12 aficionado.
Yeah. Yeah, when in doubt, I'm going to take the Big 12, but you are right. This is two teams that are kind of similar in terms of they got great length on the wings. Terrence Shannon for the Illini. You look at Texas with Timmy Allen and Sir Jabari Rice from New Mexico State to transfer. And then I love the Texas backcourt so far this year. Carr and Hunter have meshed right away. So I'll take the Longhorns, but I think this is a hell of a game. So no lock for me.
Yeah, it's a little scary because Illinois coming off that loss. Had they won at Maryland, I think I'd probably be locking up Texas. But I could see Illinois coming with a little added juice there saying, hey, we got to get back on the right track. Patty C, what are you doing here?
I feel like you got to roll Texas here. Chris Beard's got that thing rolling already. There are a lot of people saying that they're actually the best team in the country right now. Illinois already taking 2 losses. Granted, the Big Ten, it's ridiculous. If you look at the Big Ten standings, they're sitting there at 12th, and they're also number 17 in the nation. What does that say about the Big Ten right now? Ridiculous, but Texas is just that good, so I'm riding Longhorns here.
NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Yeah, so the difference with Texas this year compared to last year is that this year they can actually score the ball. And if you look at the Gonzaga matchup, that shows you why. Last year they got beat by Gonzaga handily. They only scored 74 in that game. This year they put up 93 on the Zags and blew them out. And look at pace of play also. Last year they were 336 in the country pace of play. This year all the way up to 155. That means Beard is more comfortable letting that offense go. I think it's really hard to pick against Texas right now. And if you guys might be afraid of locking it up, I am not. Give me that -4. Let's go Longhorns. Lock it up.
NC Nick, hook 'em horns. Lay the 4, he says. All right.
Hey, real quick, what do you think the crowd breakdown will be there at the Garden? You think the Illini? I think the Illini travel better slightly.
I can see some rich Texas fools saying, hey, let's go to New York City.
Yeah.
I don't see a big advantage one way or the other would be my guess. I think both fan bases will travel pretty well for this. That would be my hunch.
The only reason I say that is because the Illini took over Vegas when they played UCLA.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Those fans are crazy, but I'm with you. I think Texas will travel as well.
Yeah. Next matchup, UNC Greensboro. Kept a decent program there. Right down the road for where I am now. Hopefully they have power. They're heading into Fayetteville, Arkansas. The Bud Walton Arena. Should change that to the Bill Walton Arena, baby. Arkansas is laying a big 17.5 points in this one. Musselman, 7-1. Might have escaped Maui, a couple close calls, but 7-1. And meanwhile, Greensboro 4-5. Kind of some tough losses this year. I don't know if they know who they are. If you look at, they got just absolutely beat down by Terrell Furman's North Carolina A&T Aggies. They got beat down by Stephen F. Austin. They did score a win, though, against a decent Montana State team, and they kept it close with Towson. They even kept it close at Miami and Coral Gables for the most part until late in that game. 17.5 points. I'll take it. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I'm going to lay the points, actually. UNCG has already burned me a couple times this year. Mike Jones, the head coach, is his year 2. He came over from Radford. Last year was a disappointing 17-14, and this year, to start things off, they have a 1-7 ATS record. They had 3 straight double-digit losses to Hofstra, Stephen F. Austin, and North Carolina A&T, and then they just beat Elon by 4. I watched Elon in person. They're awful. So UNCG is struggling. I like all the pieces coming together for the Razorbacks. So I'm going to lay the points here. Let's go Arkansas.
Patty C, what are you doing here?
Yeah, Arkansas has been plastering teams all year. They're also 5-0 at home this year. Games at home, obviously, the money line's not in really question, so that stat's kind of irrelevant. But I expect them to continue to dominate at home over Greensboro.
Moneyline Mac, what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I'm leaning towards the Razorbacks. Like you said, Greensboro struggled, barely beat Elon the other night. They just lost 3 in a row as well. Razorbacks seem to be getting better and better. They do have a big one on Saturday with the Sooners, but I'll lean to the Razorbacks.
Hartford is taking on St. Francis, folks, but we do not have a line on that currently, but that's probably because Hartford is about to be a D3 school, so Vegas might just say, hey, fuck it. We don't need a line on that game. Milwaukee, been a great story this season. They've kind of turned into one of our darlings on this show. Milwaukee heads into Chattanooga, so it's two first-year head coaches doing battle there. What Dan Earl came over from VMI, I believe, to Chattanooga. They're 5-3. Meanwhile, Bart Lundy came over from Queens to take over that Milwaukee job. Remember, they were supposed to be so good last year with Patrick Baldwin Sr. Not the case. Meanwhile, Milwaukee's got the thing going. Chattanooga's laying 8.5 points. I'm locking up Milwaukee plus 8.5. Let's go. Look, I could dive into a lot of the reasons why. I think this is an efficient team. They're 42nd in the nation in field goal percentage. I just think they're turning a corner too, though. If anything, they struggled out the gate. They're 48th in the nation in steals. The only thing that and they're 34th in defensive rating, but the only thing that really concerns me is that they're sloppy with the basketball. They're 334th in the nation at taking care of the basketball. Meanwhile, Chattanooga, pretty sound, I feel like, in all those areas, with the exception of Chattanooga's not a strong defensive team. Well, Milwaukee is. Give me the better defensive team, catching 8.5 at McKenzie Arena. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
You make a lot of good points, and I agree with you. I mean, it's kind of funny how Milwaukee is kind of better, addition by subtraction with Patrick Baldwin Jr. leaving. My problem with locking them or actually placing a wager is the level of competition they've played so far. Their strength of schedule, 337th in the country. This is kind of a step up. I mean, Chattanooga at home, I think Chattanooga wins, but I'm going to take the points. But I'm not as confident as you and willing to lock it up.
I guess you didn't see them take down Jim Less's squad, UC Davis, who, UC Davis got some quality wins on the season. They beat Pacific. They beat Cal Berkeley. Then they also Milwaukee beat Southeast Missouri State, who just took Missouri toe-to-toe. I mean, Missouri got the win, but that was a close game. Southeast Missouri State also scored some pretty nice wins. I think they went down to South Florida, beat them. Telling you,
they also have some nice wins over the Milwaukee School of Engineering and Cardinal Stritch.
Cardinal Stritch is tough, dude.
112 to 38. Yeah,
Ken Palm is not going to lie. Their strength of schedule is 337, so that has to be a little bit concerning.
Oh, I mean, but they also lost to Purdue and Iowa State. I mean,
sure.
Come on. I would argue that UC Davis is a great win for that program. Same with Southeast Missouri State. Yes, you could say Green Bay sucks ass and IUPUI sucks ass, but they won those games, so it's like we shouldn't panic there. Watch out for my Panthers. Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm locking up the Panthers with you. I think this line's inflated just because of Chattanooga's history.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm taking the Panthers here, man. They've won 5 in a row. Yeah, give me the Panthers plus 8.5.
Let's go. Patty C, what are you doing?
Let's triple down on that.
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. The Milwaukee Panthers. They're gonna wrap their horizon well. NC Nick, I'll give you one more chance to go down on this.
You will not peer pressure me into this. It's all you guys. Good luck.
Well, a battle of bigs a little bit here. Ahmad Rand, 7th in the nation in blocks. Jake Stevens, 7th in the nation in defensive rebounds. So looking forward to that. It's curious with two teams with those dominant of bigs on the defensive side of the ball, I guess that makes sense that could possibly transition into points because both of these teams can score. But then again, Chattanooga putting up 112? No, they put up 108 on Covenant. It was Milwaukee that put up 112 on Cardinal Stitch. So it'll be nice. What's that?
No, you gotta. That was a trap game. Cardinal Stitch. It's the epitome of a trap game.
Hey,
Panthers,
add them to our tournament at the end of the year.
Yes. We want to do a Mike Leach style tournament of the shittiest teams in all college basketball in a tournament. Moving along, we don't have a line on Lafayette and Princeton. If you guys get one, feel free to drop it in the chat and we'll answer it. And we do not have a line on South Carolina State and Winthrop, but South Carolina State, the best 1-8 team in America. That goes back to the ECU reference earlier, if you did not catch that. Next on the slate, and we don't have all of the lines, folks. So there are like Charleston Presbyterian, UMBC Columbia. I do not have a line on those, but we know Columbia's on auto fade. So we're going to probably lock up UMBC. We might even lock up Charleston. Get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store.
Hey, can we talk about Charleston for a second? I love what Pat Kelsey is doing now. That energy that he has injected into that program. And did you guys see against the Citadel where him and College of Charleston bought like 1,000 tickets, and they shipped up their students up to the away game at the Citadel so they could have just as many, if not more, of their fans on the road trip. It's right down the road, but I just love what he's doing with that program here. So
I
wait till we see the line, but that certainly might have lock material.
Yeah, I love it too.
I think I've locked up Charleston like 6 straight, and they've won every single one.
Nice.
They're a machine right now.
They are 8-1 ATS. So yeah, that makes sense.
They need to take all that energy and start their football program. All right. I don't understand why they don't have their football program rolling. Anyway, let's continue on this journey, but they are. Pat Kelsey's doing a fantastic job down there in Charleston. Great city, great drinking city. I don't have a line on American and Mount St. Mary's either, but I do have a line on this one. This is a good matchup we got going here. The Billikens of St. Louis taking on Iona. So you got 7-2 St. Louis. Travis Ford. Oh, you remember Travis Ford used to play at Kentucky back in the day? You know who his coach was? Oh, it was Rick Pitino. Now he's taking on Iona. Guess who their head coach is? It's Rick Pitino. This is at the Heinz Athletic Center. Bring your membership. St. Louis is laying 1.5. Last year they played on January 8th. St. Louis won 68-67. I'm gonna call for a little Pitino revenge here. I am gonna take the point in the Gaels. Patty C, what are you doing?
I have learned the hard way against fading Iona, so I am on the Gaels as well.
There we go. The full court press, gonna get to them. I mean, if you pull up a lot of the stats, even though I got to be honest, St. Louis is better than I thought they would be this year. They're the 25th best rebounding team in the nation. They're also 20th in assists in the nation, but still, St. Louis not an elite defensive team, which you would think a guy that played for Pitino would have them playing great defense. Instead, 34th offensively, 212th defensively, and meanwhile, Pitino's Iona squad, top 100 defensively. I think that's the difference. Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, no, St. Louis is actually really good. They're the better team. Yuri Collins, Javante Perkins, they got a good team in the A-10, but this is Rick Pitino. This is a revenge spot. He coached Travis Steele. Travis Ford. Travis Steele's at Miami of Ohio. So I'm going to take Rick Pitino. It's solely a play on Rick Pitino.
Yeah. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Well, I'm going to disagree with all you guys. I think right now St. Louis enters this game by far the more battle-tested team. I mean, they've already played the likes of Maryland, Memphis, Auburn, Providence, Give me the best team Iona's played so far. Santa Clara, Vermont, maybe Hofstra, and they lost to Hofstra and Santa Clara. So St. Louis has played at Auburn, so they're not going to be afraid about this little, what's it called, the Heinz Athletic Center. They can come up into New Rochelle, New York, and not be fazed by that home court environment. So give me the Billikens.
No, I thought this was an old Rochelle. Let
me double check here.
I thought it was Rochelle. That's a Seinfeld reference for all you Seinfeld fans out there.
At this point, Iona right now, the number 248th strength of schedule to this point, and St. Louis number 45. So yes, I would say you're right. Much more battle tested.
If all the Seinfeld members were playing a game of basketball, who would be the best player?
You gotta go Kramer, man. He's got the length.
I don't know, man. I can see Newman being a problem in the post.
He would play dirty. He might hit you with that bow.
Newman will get on the floor.
Yeah, that's right. Newman sprawling.
Well, in the one episode, what did Jerry call George a chucker, or did George call Jerry a chucker when they were playing basketball? I forget. One or the other.
I feel like George called Jerry a chucker, right? Or no, maybe it was. I don't know.
It's vice versa.
Yeah, you might be right. Either way, I'd pay money to see that. Just like our Royal Rumble, and that's something me and Moneyline Mac were talking about the other day. We do this in college football. Who would win the Royal Rumble between coaches? We said in college basketball, who would win? I was trying to think of a solid amount of coaches that would put up a fight. And all I said was, I think Frank Martin will whoop everyone's ass. any coaching candidates we're sleeping on, perhaps?
Didn't we say who's Florida State's guy again?
Hamilton.
Yeah.
He may be 75, but I wouldn't want to fight him.
Pat Ewing would be hard to move.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Those former players, I think Pat Ewing might be a 1 seed.
Penny Hardaway would probably whoop some ass. Juwan Howard, well, we've seen that.
Yeah, he's 6'10". Yeah, nice little dust up.
Our guy Cameron Kerr wants to know out of the four of us, who would win in a 3-point contest?
I'd be last.
I've never seen Ryan play, but I'm telling you right now, I'll take down Colby and Patty C.
Well, there was one time when we were young and in our early 20s where me and Nick got in an argument, several drinks deep. And it was about 5 a.m. and we actually waited for the gym to open at 6 a.m. And he did beat me in a 3-point shooting contest.
I wasn't the Herndon Men's League MVP for no reason.
the rest of the gym was wondering, like, I'm talking, we never went to sleep, folks. We went straight from drinking to a gym, a full-on gym where tons of people are starting their mornings, and we're just coming in there. Fuck you, dude! I'll beat you in the 3-point shooting contest. Give me top of the key, man. All right, let's hop along. The people are wondering what the hell they're listening to right now. Welcome to the college basketball experience. All right, St. Joe's, Temple, little Philadelphia battle here. I gotta be honest. I'm kind of relishing in the fact that St. Joe's has been dog shit ever since they fired Phil Martelli, who was doing a great job with that program. I don't care what you say. They're 3-4. St. Joe's, you look at St. Joe's. Look what they've become, all right? Hey, I hope that's working out for you. Just got whooped by Fairleigh Dickinson by 17. You deserve it all. You're heading to LaSalle to take on Fran Dunphy, coaching OG, Philadelphia coaching legend, whether it was the high school level, whether it was Temple, and now he's at LaSalle. This line, I do not have a line on, but what do you guys lean?
Oh, what, St. Joe's Temple?
Oh, no, I do.
Yeah.
Temple's minus 11.5. What are you doing, Moneyline Mac?
I'll lean to Temple. I've faded St. Joe's all year. They're a bad team. I mean, they just, like you said, we were all over Fairleigh Dickinson to cover. They didn't just cover; they covered the other way around and beat their ass by 17. Their only wins are they beat Penn in overtime and they beat Albany and Lafayette early in the year. I'll lean to Temple, even though it is a Philly rivalry game.
Yeah, and you're right. They are a bad team. You pull up the stats; they're 330th defensively.
Yeah.
They're 300th in the nation at taking care of the basketball. They're also 314th in assists. They don't even move the fucking ball. 313th in field goal percentage. They're just not good. I'm going to
35th in points scored.
I'm laying the points. I'm laying the points too, even though I am a little concerned about the little Philadelphia style. Little brother getting a shot. at Big Brother. I'm laying the
little
points.
Philly dust up.
Yeah, a little Philly dust up there. Patty C, what are you doing?
I'm all over Temple as well. I mean, St. Joe's hasn't been the same as they were in a long time. And Temple, 5-4, not great, but certainly better. So give me the Owls. Who?
There you go, NC Nick.
Yeah, Temple dropped a couple games in mid to late November, but they bounced back with 3 straight double-digit wins over VCU, LaSalle, and Drexel. I think all 3 of those teams are probably better than St. Joe's. I guess Drexel might be the only one that might be kind of on the same playing field, but I'm going to lay the points as well.
Yeah. None of us locking that one up. Once again, folks, there's a lot of games I do not have lines on, but get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. You'll have all of our picks because we make all of our picks. There's a lot of other games going on that we do not have lines on, but I'm going to hop down to the next one we do, and that is Georgia Tech. On the gridiron, this was a sneakier game. I think at the half, Georgia was clinging to a 3-point lead, 10-7. Hey, maybe. And look at it on the basketball court. How about Mike Snow White coming into Athens, Georgia, leaves Florida for Georgia, which is just insane. And then he takes Tom Crean's roster and says, hey, you know what? 7-2 out the gate. Meanwhile, Josh Pastner, probably still wearing that ridiculous mask. It looks like he's on a fucking circular saw. Georgia Tech's laying 3. I'm going to say wrong team favorite. I trust Snow White. Give me +3 and the Bulldogs as they head into Hot Atlanta. What are you doing here, Patty C?
I think I have to agree with you. I mean, ACC basketball down in general this year. I don't know if that's necessarily a reflection on Georgia Tech itself, but 5-3, 1-1 on the road. Meanwhile, Georgia undefeated on the road, 3-game win streak, absolutely dominating their lesser opponents. I think that streak continues here, and Georgia gets it done at home. No, actually, this is at Georgia Tech. I stand corrected.
They still might have the crowd.
That's true.
Yeah.
If in football, that's the case.
Yeah. Moneyline Mac, what are you doing?
I'm definitely on Georgia here. More battle-tested team, I think, as well. Georgia Tech's been so up and down the whole Josh Pastner era. You look at what they've done this year. They haven't beaten anybody. They just beat Northeastern, North Alabama. Anytime they've played a high major, they've lost with Iowa, Marquette, and Utah. Compared to Georgia, who, like you said, has been better with Mike White so far this year. So I will take the Bulldogs.
NC Nick, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't have a great read on this game, but I think Ryan hit the nail on the head. Whenever Georgia Tech's played a power conference opponent so far, they've lost 0-3. Let's go ahead and make it 0-4 and go with Georgia.
What's happening? What happened to the days of Malcolm Mackey and James Forrest and Eddie Alisma? See if those Yellow Jacket fans know what I'm talking about. All right, or maybe they're out on them.
Well, hopefully they're like 35 years older or older.
Yeah, or
they're going to catch those references.
Yeah, if not, they're like, let's turn this podcast off. Next up, we got well, I don't have New Hampshire Boston College, folks. I don't have High Point Furman, but we have Coastal Carolina and Wofford. And I was surprised to see Wofford's. And do you think there's more to the story, or is this just like his wife's pregnant or something? I don't know. But Wofford's head coach taking a leave of absence, Jay McCauley. What the hell? What's going on here? What's going on here? You're leaving. The season just started. I don't know. I don't understand what's happening. But anyway, this game, they're laying 6 at home against Coastal. Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium. Oh, you gotta love this. The greatest, as far as I'm concerned, the greatest pivot to the Me Too movement. Jerry Richardson. Oh man, all these.
Did he jump on board?
No. I'm saying the way he sold this team over a fucking weekend. You know what I mean? Normally, he used to own the Carolina Panthers. When the Me Too shit started coming, everyone.
Was that what it was? The Me Too? I thought for some reason I thought it was race related.
Well, I'm sure he's a racist, but I'm saying is he sold the team so fast. He's a genius as far as I'm concerned. There was like a sexual misconduct shit going on between the in the facilities. he sold this team on I feel like the shit was remember they were coming at McNair, the owner in Houston.
Richardson, this is like $1 billion organization.
Dude, normally these teams take like 8 months to sell. Jerry Richardson sold this thing at he found out about this. He saw some of the other owners going down. And he was like, you know what? Sell it. Sell it.
He's like, you're not dragging my name through the mud. I'm out of here. Peace.
Take his money, got the fuck out.
I could just picture this. I picture him at a dog park walking his dog. And he's just talking to someone. He's like, yeah, how would you like to buy the Carolina Panthers? Right? I mean, the guy sold it in 12 hours. One of the greatest fucking stories ever. It might be a complete, scumbag. Probably is. But,
man, dude, not related, but our guy Tomcat in the chat, he knows his Yellow Jacket basketball. He's dropping some great names like Ivana Newbill. It's been a while since I've heard that name. Nice reference.
Man. Wow, that is a great reference. Anyway, what are you guys doing? I'm riding the shots here. You got a coaching little dust up. Something's happening with at Wofford. Give me the shot to clears, even though I don't think they're that good this year, but getting 6. I don't know what's happening with the Terriers. What are you doing here, Patty C?
Well, I mean, these are two teams that very much rely on home field or home court advantage. Wofford 5-0 at home, 0-4 on the road. Meanwhile, Chanticleer's 3-1 at home, 1-2 on the road. The game's being played at Wofford. I don't think 6 points is too much for Wofford to cover. I think they get it done.
NC Nick, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think you got to go Chanticleers here with that coaching news. I mean, Wofford's really young. They got BJ Mack, a guard who's a baller, but it was a huge blow when Isaiah Bigelow transferred to Richmond, who's playing really well, and Max Klesmit transferred to Wisconsin, who's also playing really well for the Badgers. So, I mean, have those guys on Wofford, and you got a really good squad. So I think they're taking a lot of bumps because they are young, especially for a mid-major. So give me Coastal.
How about you, Moneyline Mac?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Patty C here and take Wofford, the home team. I think maybe the 1-game bump with the new coach. So I'll ride the Terriers here. Don't feel good about it, but looking forward to watching this game. I think 2 evenly matched teams for the most part.
Yeah.
And that 120 burger they hung on Bob Jones. Can't overlook that.
I thought it was a breakfast restaurant. Let me tell you, their eggs Benedict are fantastic.
Bob Jones, big boy.
add them to our tournament at the end of the year.
That's
1 seeded IUPUI versus 16 seed Bob Jones.
Oh man, Tarleton State.
Hold on, Colby. I mean, while we're in the Carolinas, I think you might have skipped over a game that we do have a line.
Did I miss one?
Maybe because your Pirates are going down to Wilmington, and they're getting 4.5, and that's a 7:00 game too. So you're already on 7:30 games. Did you miss that one?
I think I missed that one, and obviously, I want you to talk about this one because. Look, Wilmington, great city. We've been down there. We'll be down there this Saturday. Once again, I know some fans have hit us up saying they would like to come meet up for a beer, and we invite you to come meet up for a beer. So hit us up on Twitter at TCE on SGPN or our personal accounts. But at the same time, let's not be silly here. Let's not be silly. One team is moving in the right direction in life, and the others just kind of doing a little bit of winning here, a little bit of losing there. No.
We believe in the Pirates, in the spirit of ECU.
Where do you see this line? I'm not seeing this line right now.
I'm seeing it on Tally side. I see it on ESPN's website. I got UNCW -4.
Oh man, they just you know what? They're
locking it.
Yeah,
really?
Oh, he's locking it.
I don't look at the buy-in. I really think this ECU team. I've been completely impressed. I know you can bring up that South Carolina State loss. That's a bad loss.
Yeah, they're ranked 338 on KenPom.
Okay, but South Carolina State almost knocked off a few teams this year, but
South Carolina.
Yeah. Well, I was watching that one. I just think ECU is better than what I thought they would be this year. I get it. I mean, ECU guy, but they really are better than what I thought they would be this year. And I just think they're the better team. So I'm getting points with the better team. Give me my Pirates. Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
I'm going to ride your Pirates here. I'm not going to lock it. I think these two teams evenly matched for the most part as well. we'll see if ECU doesn't fall down 15 early like they always do. It seems like.
That's true. That is one thing that is one alarming thing. Is they love to get down 17 points and then somehow win the game. That is going to cost them at some point. But I'll have you know, last time they played, ECU won by 10.
Javon Small putting up 8 or 17.7 points per game. Good for I believe it was 10th in the or 8th in the nation in offensive win shares. Got a little stud down there in East at where is that?
What is that? ECU?
Greenville?
Yeah, Greenville.
Patty C. Jeez.
I mean,
have a cocktail, buddy.
How many? I've had like 4 already.
How dare
many
you?
Teams are in North Carolina. Good God, can we calm down? I know you guys love basketball down there, but
well, this game's intriguing because you have the pace thing. ECU plays a pretty fast pace, and then you have Wilmington that's 345th in the nation in pace. So you kind of got contrast in styles. Wilmington's a terrible shooting team, like from the free throw line, from the 3-point line. They're an efficient team on offense besides that. But I think that's how Carolina beats them. Obviously, Schwartz comes over from coaching with Rick Barnes for a long time. I think we're going to force them to shoot jumpers, and I don't think they can make them. Pirates win. NC Nick, what are you doing?
Need I remind you that UNCW already has wins over the likes of Missouri State, Vermont, North Texas. I mean, this is a solid basketball squad right here. Yet, I think it's just like a 50-50 game, so you might as well give me the 4 or the 4.5. I guess I'll ride your boys.
Let me tell you, buddy. I thought Missouri State might be a good team. I know you're trying to milk that as a good win, but I watched them the other night. Missouri State is 4-4, and they scored 40 points against Bradley in the opener, the Missouri Valley opener. They scored 40.
True, and Vermont's not quite the same Vermont as we've seen in recent years. So I hear you. Good point.
Let me tell you what.
What's that?
Wilmington's losses: Oklahoma, UConn, and UNC. 2 of them ranked. Oklahoma being the other one, and we all know Porter Moser's a hell of a coach. Meanwhile, ECU's have taken losses to Indiana State, which is decent. ODU and South Carolina State. Look, I'm leaning Wilmington here, even though ECU's catching 4. I think Wilmington's the play.
Nah,
he forgets that ECU's in Greenville. Second, he's taking UNCW.
Yeah. Something's going on over there in LA. I don't know what's going on.
You're lucky you're not in the studio right now. Colby would smack you.
Yeah, I'm afraid to. He was asking me to gag him earlier. Right?
Let me ask you this: ECU basketball rivals. Is it still NC State? I can't imagine they're in the same.
I would say it's the Tar Heels because we're the best program. Duke or North Carolina, but after Hubert Davis's little dust up with Coach K last year, I feel like ECU. Let me ask you this: does Carolina or Duke or NC State? You could throw in them. What do they got? Tom Gugliotta. Do they have anyone that's as good as Blue Edwards was?
Probably not. You got to say Blue Edwards.
That's what I'm saying. You have a good player when he's named after a fucking color. All right.
If it wasn't for that knee injury, he would have been Michael Jordan, basically.
That's what I'm saying, man. He had that. That's dude, and he still went to the finals with the Jazz. All right. Think about that. Everyone talks Malone and Stockton. No one remembers that Blue Edwards was the real glue of the team.
Len Bias and Blue Edwards have the same story. An absolute tragedy.
All right, next up, we go to now I'm all off on my schedule. I don't know how I missed that one. But we will bounce down to Tarleton State. Lee Gillespie. Tarleton. They're catching 17.5 in Waco. Man, Baylor squeaked that one out the other night. Terrible. Look, I normally would love to see Baylor beat the Zags. I'll be honest. I kind of like Baylor more than Gonzaga, but there was a little bullshit call and fouling out Drew Timme in that game. I'm gonna take Tarleton plus a 17.5, and I'm thinking about locking it. NC Nick, what are you doing?
Well, the one alarming thing was that Baylor lost at Marquette where they got beat by 26. I mean, who saw that coming? Look, it's a tough road trip. No harm in losing a game, but losing it like that is crazy. With that said, I think I'm going to go Baylor. Tarleton's a good team. They're a very solid mid-major here, but they're not at Baylor's level. I think Baylor, big brothers, Tarleton here, big time.
The line has came down some too. It opened at 19, I believe.
I mean, that's a fairly, I guess, large spread. But Baylor obviously number 12 right now, 6-2. Their losses to Virginia and Marquette being the bad one. But the Virginia loss, they were up early, and then Virginia started to pour it on. But Baylor fought pretty hard, and because of that, I do still think Baylor's a pretty damn good team. So I'm going to lean the Bears to cover 17.
Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
I'm going to lean to Billy Gillespie's Texans here. I've been impressed with them. Baylor's been up and down. I don't like their front court so far this year. I think they have depth issues going forward. Looking at what Charleston State's done against the high majors, if you count Boston College as a high major, they beat them by 16. Lost at Arizona State by 3. So they've been competitive with these bigger teams as well. So I'll lean to Billy Gillespie here.
Yeah. I think it's going to be, I think it'll be chippy in the first half. Baylor pulls away late. Jackson State is taking on TCU, and I don't have a line on this right now, but I'm curious. Jackson State just got their first win of the season at SMU, a rival of TCU. We've seen TCU struggle some this year. I wonder, do you think Jackson State, they're Mo Williams, their head coach there, could that be something? Could that be a ball game, perhaps? What do you make of that, Moneyline Mac?
I don't think so. I think Jackson State's in the downfall with Dion leaving. So I'll lean to the Horned Frogs here.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup.
I think TCU's getting better finally.
They are turning a corner. They have 3 straight double-digit wins over Cal, Iowa, and Providence. They're a very balanced basketball team with basically 5 guys averaging double digits. I think TCU is turning that corner.
Yeah, Patty C, any chance you're taking Jackson State there? A little Deion love. Hey, shout out to Deion Sanders, still coaching. Look, that deal apparently, I read an article today that Rick George, first off, he knew the athletic director of Colorado, knew Deion Sanders because he used to be the president of the Texas Rangers. And when Deion was in town, so he knew him through a baseball connection, right? Because Deion lives in the area. So apparently I read something that was a done deal a month ago. A month ago, Deion Sanders basically told Rick George he'd be the coach of Colorado. But I love seeing Deion coach the SWAC championship, and guess what? He's coaching the Celebration Bowl. A lot of shitbag coaches would have dipped out. You see it all over the sport.
Brian Kelly.
Yeah. Brian Kelly.
I mean, I was about to say, Colby, I know you're a high on Deion, and I love myself some Deion too. But you're gonna have to eat that one if you didn't. So that's really good news that he's not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, look,
because you've been hard on Brian Kelly about it.
Well, he does it every time his team's undefeated. It's like, I got a great team this year. Let me get another job.
Him and his family.
Yeah, him and his family, right? North Texas is taking. What's up?
Let me say this: Jackson State 1-6 with one 1-point victory. TCU 6-1 with 1-point loss. What's the spread on this game again?
No, I don't have a line on it right now.
Whatever the line is, I'm leaning TCU.
TCU had some close calls early, man. I think it was Pine Bluff almost
Pine
got
Bluff,
it.
They won by 1.
Yeah. They got a couple. They're getting healthy though. They've gotten healthy, like Nick said, over the last couple weeks.
Wins over Iowa and Providence by 13 in back-to-back weeks. So on back-to-back games. Coming into this game. Pretty good.
North Texas heads into UT Arlington, Texas. This is an interesting matchup because North Texas laying 10.5. Arlington's not awful. They almost beat LSU the other night. Meanwhile, North Texas, I came into the season incredibly high on them. They got their ass kicked against St. Mary's, and I haven't been able to rebound since that what was that first if that was the opening night or the night after. But they're 6-2. There's things are starting to click. It seems like in Denton.
Well, we all know that in Denton, unless you win the conference championship, you're getting fired. So he's probably sitting there at 6-2, sweating bullets.
One of the most ridiculous stories this offseason. We're going to hit it hard on the college football experience about that firing. They're laying 10.5. You know what? I'm actually going to lay the 10.5 because I think UT Arlington came out, tried to get that LSU dub. I think their problem has been consistency. I don't think they're a terrible team. They're actually 5th in the nation in rebounding. But I think North Texas is starting to find a groove there. I'm gonna take the mean green. NC Nick, what are you doing?
I disagree. I'm going to home dog it up here. I mean, getting like 9 or 10 or so. I think UTA takes some of that confidence from that close loss to LSU, saying, "Look, we can play good ball. We can hang with some of these good teams here." And you got an in-state battle here, and UTA probably doesn't have that many teams like this coming into their home court. So I think, give me the Mavericks, man. Give me the points.
Moneyline Mac, what are you doing?
I'm going to lean to the mean green here. Looking at what Arlington's done, I know that they just almost beat LSU the other night, but I mean, other than that, their only wins are over Howard Payne, Hardin, Simmons, and Southwestern. I know they did beat Northern Kentucky, but I like the mean green. The only loss, they had multiple guys out with the flu.
You take Howard Payne or Kenny Payne's Louisville Cardinals?
Yeah, I'm leaning Howard Payne.
By 1 point exactly.
Yeah. Patty C, what are you doing here?
Oh, let's see. I mean, UT Arlington, the close loss. The home dog is really what it is. You know, both of these teams wildly successful at home, completely terrible on the road. And I think that trend continues here, even though North Texas does have some impressive wins, and UT Arlington really doesn't. I mean, their best things are their losses. You know, the 11-point loss at Oklahoma State is kind of impressive. The 4-point loss at LSU is kind of impressive. Them coming home, I think that's enough to cover. So I'm going Mavericks.
All right. Good points. Next up, Bradley heads to SIU Edwardsville. Believe it or not, both these teams pretty fucking solid to start the year. Like I said, Bradley just held NC Nick's Missouri State teams. He was about to crown them national champions. Held them to 40 points. The Braves getting it done. All right. Dale Murphy ain't hitting dingers with them. Meanwhile, SIU Edwardsville, 7-2. Currently first in the Ohio Valley. I know that doesn't mean much right now, but they beat our Troy Trojans that are playing right just about to tip off, or if they haven't already, against San Diego State. They beat Longwood, Jerome Kersey's alma mater, who seems to be playing pretty good ball this year. They've been pretty solid this year. The spread here is Bradley -6 on the road. I'm gonna take the points. SIU, give me the points. NC Nick, what are you doing?
This is tough. I went back and forth. I do like Rayshawn Taylor, the SIU guard. He might be OVC Player of the Year this year. It's a tough one, man. I mean, Bradley on the road just took care of Missouri State pretty easily. But you know what? I'm with you. I'm gonna home dog it up again.
Moneyline Mac, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, both teams are hot coming in here. SIUE has won 6 in a row. Bradley's won 3 in a row. I'm going to lean towards Bradley. I think they're the better team, Missouri Valley over Ohio Valley, but I think this could be a good game here.
Yeah, Patty C, what are you doing?
I have to agree with you, even though, like you guys all just mentioned, Bradley coming in pretty hot, some pretty convincing wins lately. I just feel like that's too many points on the road. So give me SIU.
Let's go. Little Rock is coming into Memphis. Shout out to Darrell Walker. Darrell Walker, I don't know how the fuck he's still coaching this team. I feel like me and NC Nick have been highlighting Darrell Walker since the late 80s when he was on the Washington Bullets. But no, honestly, like
Darrell, what is it? Darrell Walker scoreboard?
What's that?
No, Rick Walker scoreboard. Okay.
Doc Walker, buddy.
Rick Doc Walker, same person.
Rick Doc Walker. Hail the Redskins.
There you go. I mean, they're catching 26.5 at Memphis. This game sucks. This game really fucking sucks. Oh, man.
Dude, Little Rock is awful, man.
What has he done to this program? They were not that bad a couple of years ago. Memphis only won by 10 in their last matchup. That's enough for me to take Little Rock plus the points. NC Nick, what are you doing?
In the last matchup between the schools, was the last year?
No, it was 2 years ago.
Oh, that's like meaningless. I'm going to lay the points. Give me Memphis.
Moneyline Mac, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, it's hard to believe that Chris Beard was at Little Rock once upon a time, only, 6 years ago? I'm going to take Little Rock just because Memphis is in a little bit of a sandwich spot, coming off the Ole Miss win, and they got a big game against Auburn on Saturday.
Makes sense. Patty C, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking the regional flavor is enough for Little Rock to get up for this game. What are we look? These schools are about 45 minutes apart, right?
Yeah, I feel like they are close, right? Memphis is practically in fucking Arkansas.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Lomax on Memphis, 4th in the nation in steals per game. Little turnover fest possibly for the Trojans, but I think they cover.
Lomax,
I don't know.
Lomax feels like the name of a villain in like a fucking Stallone movie, doesn't it?
Well, Bernie Lomax was weakened at Bernie's.
Oh shit! Yeah, I always felt like that you just top. I got nothing. I was gonna say like it sounds like the bad guy in Cliffhanger. It's like fucking Lomax, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
No. You're right. That Bernie Lomax, man. Shout out to Bernie Lomax. Next up on the slate here, we have Green Bay taking on Loyola Chicago. This is probably more entertaining than the Packers Bears this year, believe it or not. Green Bay, just fresh off of my lock. Shout out to the Phoenix. The Phoenix did rise in London. They're heading. Damn, they're going from London to Chicago. Wasn't that game in London?
Sorry.
No, it was in Green Bay.
No, it was in Green Bay earlier today.
Throw to O'Hare.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. All right, so it's not that bad. I've done this trip, so let's go. Loyola is laying 19.5. Did you guys see the video I posted of Loyola's crowd rocking? Even though they're struggling, they're cool. 3-5. Shout out to the Ramblers. Their team's struggling. Meanwhile, their fans are fucking lit. And that place was fantastic. But this team's really struggling, and they're not your traditional Loyola team right now. They're 275th in defense.
Oh, man.
What is happening? What is happening with the Ramblers?
Pretty clear that Porter Moser was a pretty instrumental part of their success.
I mean, it's all of those factors. They're bad. They're a bad rebounding team. They're a bad free throw shooting team. They're terrible from three.
Well, they're playing some good teams, though.
That's
to
true.
Be fair.
That's true. But they're about to enter A10 play. I don't know how good this season is going to go for them. There's no way I'm laying 19.5. Give me the Phoenix. The Phoenix is going to rise all over Chicago and those filthy crooks in that city that want to take away that beautiful, beautiful stadium they got called Soldier Field. You go out to your fucking little bullshit home out in the middle of fucking, where is it? Urbana? I don't.
He's breaking up on us a little bit here.
I know.
Colby, you're frozen. Come back to us, guys. I'll jump in, but I agree with what he's saying right now. I mean, the biggest win the Ramblers have is a 15-point win over Central Arkansas, who's not very good either. I think obviously this is not a money line play because Green Bay is pretty damn bad, but
they lost by 34 to Georgetown. So
there you go. That should tell you
that's
something.
A pretty bad loss. I don't know. I mean, 7 straight losses to start the season for Green Bay, and then they get up and get a dub against Ooey Pooey. Loyola Chicago struggling as well. Losers of 5 of the last 6. So I guess I'll ride with you. I guess that's too many points.
I'm gonna take Loyola. I think this is the get right spot. Green Bay coming off back to back. I watched them today. They're awful. I know they beat, as Patty C says, ooey pooey, but they're even worse. So I'll lay the 19.5.
Guys, Johnny Football wants to know where the lock's at.
They're not in this game. Not in this game. I can't bet Green Bay. I don't care. I don't care who the fuck they got on that team.
Bring your meth.
Yeah, exactly. Abilene Christian is heading into Manhattan, Kansas, the Little Apple. You know what? Abilene hasn't been as good as I thought they would be this year. They're 5-4, still solid. Meanwhile, Jerome Tang, all those years at Baylor paying off because K-State 7-1 to start the season. They're laying 13. I'm taking Abilene Christian to cover it though. NC Nick, what are you doing?
I mean, I guess that was my initial reaction because, Kansas State has a nice record. They've had a pretty tough schedule. They're not really blowing out too many teams. I mean, if you look at Cal, they only won by 9. Nevada was an overtime game. I mean, these are good opponents, though, and they're better opponents than Abilene Christian. But I think 13 is a little too much. Give me the points.
Patty C, what are you doing here?
Getting them at home again. You know, these are both very much home oriented teams. 5-0 at home for K-State, 1-1 on the road. They're getting Abilene Christian at home. 13 seems doable for the Wildcats, 7-1, and they've played some decent competition.
Which Wildcats? They're both Wildcats.
Oh, Kansas State. Sorry. Good point.
Moneyline Mag, what are you doing?
I'm going to go Big 12 here. I'm considering locking this one. Yeah, I'll lock it up. There you go, Johnny Football. Give me the Wildcats. Email.
Whoa. I'm playing all the wrong songs. Moneyline Mac saying, give me those Wildcats.
I mean, when you consider Abilene Christian's wins, they've lit up McMurray, North American, and what is that? Arizona Baptist. I mean, three of their 5
Baptist.
wins. Oh, is it Arlington Baptist? Sorry,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, 3 of their 5 wins are against Division two competition there. Freaking terrible.
I thought they dodged a bullet when they didn't get South American.
The University of America.
Coming to America, right?
Right.
The girl asked him, what are you doing? I go to school. Where? The university? What university? American University.
Yes, in the face.
Yeah. No, he said the University of America. He didn't say
No,
America.
he said the University of the United States.
That's what it is.
Great fucking movie. I was thinking about that tonight. I was sitting here. NC Nick threw on Home Alone 2. His daughters were watching Home Alone 2, and I'm sitting there. It's funny how they paint the picture of New York so beautiful in Home Alone, which was right around the same time Coming to America came out. The first scene of Coming to America when he gets to New York, he goes to hail a cab and he steps in the road, and some New Yorker stops the car, gets out, and goes, "You dumb fuck!" Great line. Great
accurate.
Line. Speaking of locks, I'll start locking things up. Toledo heads to Northern Iowa. Toledo's laying 2.5. Rocket Man, I am. Rocket Man. Look, Northern Iowa had all their good players leave. AJ Green's gone. Carter transferred to Missouri. They can't. Toledo's coming off a bad loss. They want to get back on the rocket ship, because I think Toledo can still make the NCAA tournament. I'm laying the 2.5 in was that Cedar Falls? I don't even fucking remember. Patty C, what are you doing?
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, 2.5. Toledo handled their business.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Any team that loses to George Mason on the road.
Watch your mouth.
Is there anything to the back-to-back road trip in college basketball? Because I feel like it's super. I think college basketball, from what I could tell, is even more of a home court advantage than it is in college football. And then
maybe I got to dive into it. I guess I can't.
The stats that you wouldn't think so. You got 100,000 people versus 20,000 people, but it makes a huge difference. And then Northern Iowa, I don't know, they're hit or miss, but either way, I think I'm leaning Northern Iowa here.
NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I think this line smells, man. I think Toledo's a better team. In KenPom, they're ranked like 50 or 60 spots higher. That's why I think this line stinks here. I'm going to go the home team. I'm going to go Northern Iowa. I think, if anything, only at -2.5 it's trying to get people to take the Rockets. I'm not going to take the bait. Give me Northern Iowa.
This
line to play.
This line opened at 3 though, and I actually see a 2 out there. Not with us, but I see a 2 out there. Moneyline Mac, what are you doing?
Yeah, no. Looking at Northern Iowa, they have won all their home games. Evansville, Northern Illinois, that is. But they're always traditionally better at home. I know they're not as good as they've been. I'm going to lean. I'm kind of with you, Nick, and Patty C. This line kind of does stink, so I'll take the Panthers.
You know what? And you consider the level of competition for Northern Iowa. They schedule pretty aggressively. Richmond, San Francisco, Grand Cane's even decent, and then Bradley. 3 of those on the road are their losses, and they had Virginia scheduled on the road too. It's like this team is going after it. Maybe they need the money, but Toledo at home, I think that's a nice little break for them.
I'm on the rocket ship. Fuck you guys. I'll go to my island. It's gonna hit.
That's the second lock you have where you're on a lock island by yourself. Interesting.
It's funny. I can't wait to talk shit. This is gonna be a fun day tomorrow. Don't have a line on North Carolina Central Marquette, but we do have one on one of the better games of the day. Maryland heads into Madison, Wisconsin. Maryland coming off that big win. They're undefeated, 8-0. Just beat the Illini. They come into Madison. Wisconsin's laying 1. I'll be honest. You could talk me into locking this one. I'm taking Wisconsin -1. Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, you know me. I love locking the home teams here. Maryland undefeated. I don't care. They're 8-0, but Wisconsin's great at home. I know, and they've already dropped one this year to Wake Forest. I think this is a great spot for Wisconsin to get a big home win over Maryland. I'll lock up the Badgers.
Ooh. NC Nick, can you talk me into
Let's roll, guys. Definitely. Look, Maryland's had a great start to the season, but an L is coming, and it's coming tomorrow night on the road. Lock up Wisconsin. I'm with you guys.
Badgers,
if you don't
baby.
go to the University of Wisconsin, you're going to end up eating government cheese and living in a van down by the river.
Patty C, you're going to go live in a van down by the river and take the Badgers or what?
No, I'm on Maryland here. Julian Reese leads the nation in field goal percentage, and look, that's tough. That's tough to handle when you got an efficient player down low, banging and getting points in a tight game. I'm leaning Maryland here, and I think they're the more talented team. And I sense a little Virginia-Maryland showdown coming, maybe in the Final Four, similar to Duke, North Carolina. Look, maybe that's the homer in me, but I think Maryland's a team to beat this year. So. I think they get it done on the road.
I'm going to join NC Nick at Moneyline Mac. Give me the Badgers. Give me the Badgers -1. Let's go. Moving along. Sam.
Hey, Colby, a bunch of new lines are coming in right now. Johnny Football's firing them away in the chat.
Ooh,
nice.
Ooh, let me get over there then. So Marquette laying 18.5 against NC Central. That's in Marquette. I'll take the points and I'll take the points there. Marquette, I don't feel Marquette's they're not good enough offensively for me to lay 18.5. What are you guys doing here, Nick?
I'm with you. I'm going to go with my boys right up the road in Durham. NC Central covers.
Moneyline Mac?
Yeah, I'm going to take Central as well. It's kind of another sandwich spot here. Marquette coming off the Wisconsin game. Got Notre Dame on deck. Central, feisty as a dog so far this year.
Patty C, what are you doing?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I feel like I'm just riding your guys' coattails on this one. I couldn't tell you I was prepped for this one a second ago. So Marquette.
Well, that line just dropped.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so in that case, yeah, I'll ride with the trend and I'll go Central.
All right. Well, let's get back to this one because I'm excited to talk about this one. Sam Houston State's coming into Stillwater. Oklahoma State's coming off that loss, that beat down where Mike Boynton said, hey, UConn should be the top team in the country. OK State's laying 10.5 in Stillwater. Look, to start the season off, my Bearcats were a moneyline double-digit dog against Oklahoma that hit for me. They're 7-1. Yes, they had a bad second half in Reno. The first half, they were neck and neck with Nevada. This is disrespectful to the Bearcat program that the line is 10.5. They are going to cover the 10.5. Sprinkle some on the motherfucking money line. Give me my guys, the Bearcats of Sam Houston State. Let's go. Lock it up. Moneyline Mac, what are you doing?
I'm going to take the Cowboys here. I think it's a bounce back for the Cowboys. I think it gets the Cowboys' attention that the Bearcats did beat the Sooners already. Bearcats haven't been as good as of late, losing to Nevada. So I'll lean to the Cowboys here and a bounce back.
But Bearcats did just drop 111 on Dallas Christian?
Yeah, I skipped over that game for a reason.
and
who would win, Dallas Christian or Arlington Baptist?
Take
the under.
Who did the Sam Houston hung 120 on Southwest Adventist?
Yeah,
Who are these teams? When are we going to start covering Division II basketball?
We need to. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I'm totally with you, Dundee. This game reminds me of one of the games in the first week of the season when I took Southern Illinois, the points, and a money line. They came in to Stillwater, got the W. I think Sam Houston can do the same thing. Lock it up for me, too.
Moneyline Mac was on that, too. Patty C,
Yeah, baby.
You down to lock?
Triple down. Sam Houston already went into Oklahoma and won by 1. You said they're catching 11. Was the spread?
10.5.
10.5. Yeah, I'm all over the Bearcats.
Bearcats, baby. Let's go. South Dakota State's heading into Missoula to take on Montana. Montana is, wow, they're catching 2.5. The Jackrabbits are laying the 2.5, and I hate to tell you this, folks. You wonder where the locks are coming from. I'm the fucking locksmith right now. Give me the Jackrabbits minus 2.5. South Dakota State had Alabama on the ropes. Now they go to Missoula. Smoke your little weed, your peace pipe, whatever you got going there in Missoula. Great town, all right? South Dakota State's on another level when it comes to basketball. I am all over laying the points. It's probably my favorite game we've covered so far. NC Nick, what are you doing?
In general, I like to take the Montana schools at home because I think it's a tough, place to come into. But I do think South Dakota State's program is just a couple notches above Montana's right now. So I'm with you.
Locking it?
Nah, I'm going to pass on the lock.
Coward.
We look at the South Dakota State's 3-6 right now.
Doesn't matter. Look at that schedule. That schedule's bananas.
Yeah, Arkansas, JMU, obviously the hardest game on the schedule, lost to Alabama. I mean, they beat St. Bonaventure and Boise, so you guys make a pretty good point, even though those games were both by 2 and 4 points, respectively. Their other win against Valpo by 11 points. Montana keeps games close. I'm on the Grizzlies here.
Ooh, Moneyline Mac, what are you doing?
I'm with you, Colby. I'm locking up the Jackrabbits. More proven team. They're going to go in there and get the win. Minus 2.5.
Let's go. This game's fucking ridiculous. North Dakota's catching 1.5 on the road in Moscow. Patty C's fond of those guys in Moscow. I mean, this game's tough. North Dakota's been playing a lot better lately. Idaho is improved. They're not. This is a Noah Beanick game. Where's Noah? Where's Noah in the chat here?
Beat reporter.
We should follow whatever he does here. Idaho won by 13 the last time they played, but that was 2018. Give me Idaho, though. I think Idaho is playing better ball this year. I mean, they just whooped Northern Illinois by fucking 37 points. I think I'm going to take the Vandals. Nick?
Yeah, I think that that win at Pacific the day after Thanksgiving, where Isaac Jones put up 31-7 for them, that sold it for me. Give me the home team. Give me the Vandals.
Patty?
Let me take a peek here. The losses by North Dakota, Iowa State, understandable. Portland, understandable. It looks like they do have the common opponent. North Dakota lost to Pacific by 30, and Iowa just beat them by 3. Or Idaho just beat them by 3. So, yeah, I guess you got to lean Vandals on that stat alone.
Moneyline Mag, what are you doing here?
I would take the Vandals as well. This is a bring your toothbrush kind of game. This is a hell of a game here. Hey, Noah's in the chat now. So, Noah, who you got in this game?
Yeah, please, Noah. Let us know about this North Dakota Idaho game. I know you'll be at the game. All right.
Now Dundee, I'm still a little concerned because I think you're missing some games now. Because now you're talking about like 9:00 Eastern time, and we're missing like some big ones. Like, I don't know, how about a little James Madison UVA?
I never got that line.
It's UVA minus 11.5.
Ooh.
Oh, come on. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. We're going to money line their asses.
Here's the problem.
Look ahead, City.
It's a revenge match. I remember JMU beat them at the Bridgeforth Connect Stadium last year, and they were chanting, "Fuck Tony Bennett." Is it personal? Tony Bennett seems like a pro. It seems he can never reach him. You know what I mean? Like, he seems like you can do all your little
No, he definitely was like, I love the atmosphere there.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, they were literally screaming, "Fuck you, dude."
Tony Bennett's actually like probably the fucking coolest dude. I swear. When I hear him talk, who supports that? Fuck Tony Bennett. That's on our level. I feel like that's on the college basketball experience level.
Right.
I'll take the points. I'm with Patty C. I'll take the points. NC Nick, what are you doing?
I think I'm actually going to lay the points. And if you look at UVA here, the big difference, kind of similar to the team we were talking about earlier, Texas. where last year they're just awful on offense. This year, UVA is actually right now, and it's very early in the season, but they're ranked number 8th in adjusted offense on KenPom compared to number 85th last year. So UVA, what Tony Bennett needs in his system, he needs roster continuity to succeed. That's what he has this year, bringing back all those guys, adding Vanderplas from Ohio. I think UVA at home, they do remember last year because most of this roster was in that game that lost to JMU. So, yeah, bounce back revenge spot for UVA.
You know, you're probably right. I just have a hard time betting on that traitor, Jaden Gardner. Leaves East Carolina for fucking Charlottesville. How's the bar scene treating you there, you fucking loser? All right.
Let me tell you what. I know Virginia's only played 7 games, whatever, and I don't have their points per game pulled up right in front of me, but they're 314th in the nation in total points scored. Meanwhile, James Madison, 9 games, 3rd in the nation in total points scored. Look, we're getting it done. The athletic department is roaring. It's too many points. It's a disrespect.
Right,
Take it on the money line. Lock it up. Duke, baby.
Oh. Patty C locking up his Dukes. Says they're the best Duke in basketball.
Here's what I'm saying. We took the L against North Carolina because we had to go to Chapel Hill and they had the number 1 next to their name. We were shook for the first half and it showed up. But in the second half, we realized they weren't that much better than we were, and we roared back and made it a game. Obviously, it wasn't a great game, but we made it a game. Since then, we've learned that North Carolina isn't quite, who we thought they were. But either way, UVA plays down, and they're looking ahead. Granted, they have 10 days before they have to play Houston, so they're probably going to be pretty focused on this game. I don't give a fuck. They don't have the athletes to shut down our offense, so we're going to get it done.
Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
I've joined it, Patty C, locking up the Dukes. Let's go.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, man.
Cheers to you, Patty C.
Duke brothers. There you go.
Little brother angle.
Yeah, I do like that little brother angle. I took Jamie. I'm just not locking it up because I'm not a fucking.
UVA is going 36-1 this year with the 1 loss coming against the Dukes.
Now, Colby, if you don't mind, for talking, Commonwealth basketball at alma maters, you also skipped over the George Mason game, who's laying 13.5 at home against Maryland Eastern Shore.
Ooh. All right,
I'll lay the points.
I'm gonna do the same.
I'll lay the points. Kim English seems like they turned a corner lately. Beating Hofstra, beating Toledo. You got Eastern Shore coming in. Eastern Shore, give us some fucking crab legs, all right? You can't play fucking basketball. What's going on? Patty C, what are you doing here?
Facts. I mean, I have noticed that George Mason's been way more competitive. They were pretty much auto fade early on, but 3 straight wins. Yeah, I don't know. 13 points is still a lot for this team, though, to cover.
Eastern Shore's dog shit, dude.
All right. I'll ride Patriots, but I'm not confident in it.
Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
I'm leaning towards the Patriots. I think Maryland Eastern Shore is awful. Like you said, all they know is crab legs. And I think Mason's getting better under Kimming. I think Mason. Cakes, yeah, whatever the fuck it is. Give me the
We're not talking Jameis Winston here.
Yeah.
You're taking...
Hold on. Did he say he's taking the points?
No, I'm laying the points.
Okay.
Yeah, he's taking the Patriots.
Yeah. No, I think the Patriots are getting better.
Yeah, they are. NC Nick, you're rocking your alma mater?
Yeah, damn straight. Go Patriots.
All right. Well, next up, I think I'm trying to get these lines. I don't know what the fuck's going on tonight, but Iowa heads into Cameron Indoor Stadium. This is in New York City. This is in New York City. Jimmy V Classic.
He just got off a plane, guys. Give him a break.
I am dragging ass a little bit. I'll be honest. All right. What was that Chris Berman special he's talking about? Where he would say he would go into Toronto and every time he goes to Canada, he gets a bunch of this.
Oh, the little drugs or whatever it is, or is it like
doing that purple drink? That's what I need. Anyway, Duke's laying 3. Duke's gonna beat Iowa, guys. Duke is gonna beat Iowa. I know Iowa's been better than I thought they would be this year. I just can't see Scheyer dropping this one. I'm laying the 3 with Duke. Lock it up. This is the one. Nationally televised Jimmy V Classic. Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
I'm locking up the Dukies. Sorry, I had to go get another beer. I'm the Dukies in New York City. They always show up at the Garden. I will take the Dukies, and I'll lock it up with you.
There you go, Patty C. Want to lock it up as well?
Well, let's ride, baby. I've been
Oh,
impressed with their young talent.
Quadruple lock. Is this the first one?
Oh! Take the Blue Devils -3 at MSG.
Like, we know Duke's my team. I can just talk about them 1 second. They're just scratching the surface on how good they can be. Their two best not transfers. Their two best recruits, Derek Whitehead and Derek Lively II. They missed the opening of the season. They missed the first few weeks of practice leading up to the season. So they're getting better. They're getting more minutes, getting into game shape. Once those guys are like really cranking, this Duke's team is going to be pretty damn good. And I think they show kind of how good they can be tomorrow night at the Garden.
There we go.
I
two
agree.
losses.
Go ahead. I
was going to say they're against number 4 and 6. So
yeah, and I agree, Nick. I think honestly they've looked the best out of the Blue Blood so far.
Yeah, besides East Carolina, they look the best.
Throw Kansas in the mix. I mean, Kansas has kind of been up and down too, but Kansas did beat Duke in a close game. But that was very early in the season, and they had a much more experienced roster. So I kind of saw that coming.
Does Arizona count as a Blue Blood?
Yes.
I think so, right? Or they're on the cusp at least.
I know they just
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you kidding?
I was referring more to like the traditional ones, like Duke, Carolina, Kentucky, UCLA. I think Duke. I mean, Kansas. I know had beat Duke, but Duke was banged up for that game, and
right.
They're young, so
yeah. Northern Arizona's young too, and they're heading into Pacific. My boys, the Tigers. Sometimes I love them, sometimes I hate them, but right now they're laying 5.5. Pacific's winning by more than 5.5. Take me to the blue yonder. Give me the Pacific Ocean -5.5 against Northern Arizona. Patty C, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I feel like Pacific's playing great, decent basketball. Even though they're in the 3 and 6, the West Coast Conference is just I'm charmed by it. I actually think
it's good this year. It's up.
Yeah, I mean,
you beat charmed.
Save for Gonzaga, weren't they almost undefeated? 1 or 2 years ago? Here they're sitting at 5 and 3. They're not having their best year, but a lot of the other teams are playing good basketball. But I think Pacific is capable of covering 5.5 here.
NC Nick, what are you doing?
Yeah, both these teams have been struggling of late. Actually, they're both 1 and 4 in their last 5. So in this game, I think it makes sense to go with the home team. It's not like they're laying a big number. So give me Pacific.
There you go, Moneyline Mac.
I'm joining you, Dundee. Pacific's been good to us, and Northern Arizona's last wins against Ottawa, Arizona.
I mean, look at
schedule Yuma. Yeah,
Pacific's losses in that 4-game stretch were by 3, 4, 3, and 4. Brutal.
They're a good team. They're not bad.
They're not that far from being a pretty darn good team. Cal
State Bakersfield's heading into San Jose. Take on the Sparty, Tim Miles squad. San Jose State's laying 8.5. I'm going to lay the 8.5 because I think San Jose State's better than their record. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
8.5 here. I don't know much about Bakersfield, to tell you the truth. I don't think they've ever really had a good program there. And, I mean, San Jose State got whipped by Arkansas pretty badly, but that's on the road. I mean, what do you expect? The most recent home games were a couple wins over Ball State and Oakland. 8.5. Okay, I'm with you. I'll lay the points.
Moneyline Mac?
I'm going to lay the points as well with Tim Miles' group. I've been more impressed with them than Bakersfield.
Patty C, what are you doing here?
So San Jose's laying 8.5 on that?
Yeah.
San Jose's loss has been North Texas, who's pretty good. We already mentioned Arkansas more recently. They have gotten throttled in that. That's too many points.
Go with the meth. Go with the meth.
I'm going with the Roadrunners.
There you go. Bakersfield plus 8.5, says Patty C. Final game on the slate, Nevada. Catching 1 in Malibu. Distraction City. Bunch of fake tits running around. You're supposed to focus on a basketball game. Pepperdine's laying 1. Pepperdine's been fire, I feel like, at home. What is Pepperdine's record at home? Let me pull that up. 5-0 at home. Yeah, 5-0 at home at Firestone Fieldhouse. It's probably named that way because the fucking thing burnt down a couple times because Malibu
meth explosion.
Yeah, or I don't know, meth and Malibu, maybe like
meth and Malibu are not mixing.
Tommy Lee lives in Malibu. I could feel that. I could see him doing meth.
About 10 minutes down the road in Venice, meth is pretty prevalent.
Yeah, by my neighbors, man. I welcome it. I told you one day I was walking my dog. I'm walking my fucking dog, coming back into my house, and there's a homeless man in my bushes eating a bowl. I'm assuming eating a bowl of cereal, maybe mulch. I don't know. But he's just sitting in the bushes eating something out of a bowl. Right? I got to get you to leave. I got to get you to leave, man. And he's just sitting there saying, fuck you. And he's just eating whatever is in his fucking bowl.
Oh, yeah. Colby is about one, quarter mile from the epicenter of meth use in Southern California.
It's great. You can see, I've seen everything. I one time I went kayaking down the canals, these beautiful Venice canals. They look like Venice, Italy. And you make a left turn, a right turn, you might see some crazy shit. And I did. I saw another homeless person giving a blowjob to another homeless person knee deep in the water, right? Knee deep in the water. And then like 20 minutes later, I saw that same guy when I was walking back, and he was yelling for George Bush to go to hell in a handbasket. It was absolutely fucking hilarious. But anyway, I'm riding. I think Nevada. Look, Reno knows meth. They're not. They might be a little sidetracked with the fake breast all throughout Malibu, California, but they know meth. So I think them touching down at LAX, going through Venice, they're going to feel a little bit of comfort. And I think Steve Alford bounces back. I'm taking the Wolfpack +1 in Pepperdine. It's a good game. Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
You know, it's funny, Colby. You crushed Steve Alford for about the first 7 games all year, and they kept winning. And then you backed him against Loyola Marymount, and that's when he let you down. I'm going to go Pepperdine here.
You're right. Fuck him, actually. You are right. Hey, Pepperdine is called the Waves for a reason, all right?
It's easy to see a tide turn.
Give me Pepperdine. Fuck Steve Alford, all right? And the fake tits are going to be too much in Malibu. And
you swayed me with the little dust up in the water with the blowjob.
I mean, you would think of all places that would not have a hostile home crowd, Malibu would be it. But here they are, 5-0 at home, 0-2 on the road. Meanwhile, Nevada 1-1 on the road, 4-0 at home. So both of these teams, again, very road.
Who you taking, Patty?
I'm on Pepperdine, baby.
Let's ride that pepper. NC Nick, what are you doing?
You know, I like that Nevada backcourt of Keenan Blackshear and Gerard Lucas. I don't think they lose both games on their LA road trip. So give me Nevada to take down the Waves.
And you know why they lost? I made the mistake of fading Lea Pepe.
How dare you?
At LMU, I'm sorry. That's the best guy in college basketball. Give him the fucking Player of the Year award right now. All right, folks. That's our show for tonight. Get the SGPN app. There's a lot of games that we didn't cover. We will have them all on the SGPN app, all of our locks as well. Subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. Subscribe to the College Football Experience. Check out Moneyline Mac. He hosts the NFL Gambling Podcast. He hosts the Ryan and Rush Show. But give us a follow on Twitter at TCE on SGPN and get that SGPN app, folks. All right. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. You'll have access to all of our picks, all of our podcasts. Like I said, come play DFS college basketball with us. A lot of fun. All right. Until then, tomorrow night, can't wait to talk college hoops again after I got island games against these clowns. Get the fuck out of here. All right. This is the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Yeah, it's got me thinking about the good shit. The minute that I seen your grill again, it made me good trip. Good dog the mind back like dog but wine that. Man, I didn't get mad when you near me hit me can back. But the comings on was strong. Now my shit's coming along, you know the song. The truth is I'm pretty much on fire again. It's heating up for real, I'm alive again.